Hello, my name's Sara Turner and I'm the chair of the British Flower and Vibrational Essence Association, and I'm together with my colleague Erik Pelham, who's the international chair of the BIFA, and we're currently at our annual gathering here in the UK, and we're using the energies of this particular weekend to just share with those that need it some of the inspirations that we personally have gained through our own journeys with our families and people that we have shared with about how essences can really help us. So Erik has a special passion for helping young people, haven't you, Erik? So
I do indeed.
Erik is going to talk a little bit about how essences can help you. So we would love any young people who are watching to kind of just hold some space with us and listen, and anybody else who needs to hear this message. So Erik, share a little bit about why you're passionate about young people hearing this message.
Well, I have 5 children myself, soon to have 4 grandchildren, and children to me are very important. And I know that the youth of today especially are in many cases searching for something new which society is not giving them. And what the essences offer is an incredible opportunity to use natural energy for total well-being and for total health and well-being on all levels. That's psychological, emotional, spiritual, mental, and this total well-being can really be a focus of total life quality where we can enjoy our lives to a much greater degree.
So if we're not, I mean, I know from my own personal experience, when we don't know how life can be different, we don't realise that it's maybe not as good as it can be. For example, I had a lot of anxiety as a younger woman.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise until I had less anxiety that I'd been anxious. So how might somebody know that it, you know, what might be some of the pointers?
I think we all have a very strong sense of how life should be. I've never met anybody in my life that doesn't have a feeling of how their life should be. And we all know when we're not getting what we really feel we should get in our lives. And this is really the pointer, that there is something out there that can help you. And we're telling you that there are some wonderful natural products called essences and elixirs, which can really bring about a true quality of life and a real opportunity to live our lives to the max in every way.
So for anybody that's watching that hasn't met essences before, could you share a little bit about them and what they are and how we use them and how safe they are, really?
Well, first of all, I want to say essences are completely safe. They're natural energies, mainly life energies, which we call the cosmic ray essences, and then being energies of certain key beings. And these 2 types of energy are extremely natural, powerful, and self-adjusting to us. In other words, if I give you an essence that you don't need, it simply will not have an effect upon you. And the degree to which it helps you will only be the degree to which you need it to help. In other words, unlike drugs which just hit us over the head with the effect, essences mold themselves to our needs in a very gentle and a very organic way, so that we only get what we need and we don't get anything else. And they kind of adapt themselves to us. So they are, in a way, a perfect tool for well-being.
And as you said, there's just even very young children can take them. So what kind of age, in your experience, do children start to... I mean, I've worked with very small children and they absolutely love them. And obviously there's a certain amount of caretaking needed by parents and caretakers, but even small children of 2, 3, 4 years old can know what they need to take from just going up to bottles. They're attracted to colours.
And actually use them completely safely too. One of the things I think we must all bear in mind is we are spiritual beings. Everybody's spiritual. The fact that we have bodies and other spiritual beings don't is perhaps one of the only differences. And so children naturally know exactly what it is that they need. I've had this with all of my own children. They go straight to an essence that they need. They say, Daddy, I need that. And they get it. And somehow when we get a bit older, when we come into our teens, this clarity that we had as a really young child can get a bit clouded. But the beauty of essences is that our spiritual guides working through our intuition tell us what it is that we need. We feel intuitively drawn towards something, and then that something will really help us in a completely safe and a completely natural way. And that's the real beauty of essences.
Absolutely, yeah. So I guess one of the biggies for us all, and one of the things that essences do at the sort of, they can help us if we're feeling sad, if we're feeling anxious. Essences work with emotions and how we feel. And one of the biggest things for us all nowadays, I think, is knowing why we're here. Yes. Because when we're not doing or being, if we're not surrounded, if we haven't got the right groups of friends, or if we're following lives, listening to other people rather than ourselves. Yeah. And of course at school, we're not taught how to be our own counsel. So talk to us a little bit about how essences can help us find our own life purpose, which leads us to studying the right subjects at school, going to university and studying just something really you feel very passionate about, and then going on to live your life doing something. In fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday who shared with me that at school the teacher had actually said to the child, of course, the job that you have may not be something that you actually enjoy. And the mother stepped in straight away and went, my child is being taught that he will have a job that he's passionate about. We don't have to do things that we don't love. So can you talk to us a little bit how essences can help us find that smooth route and know it from the beginning, so we don't have to take all these
deviations,
scenic routes?
Yes. Well, I think the first thing is to look at what should be happening but is not happening in our lives. What should be happening is we should be supported by society, by the other people around us, to find fulfilling jobs, real well-being in our lives and lifestyle, and really feel that we're valued. Now, first of all, I must say that I don't think our society does that by and large. I think there's a few countries like Denmark that support younger people more than other countries, but most countries in the world really don't support younger people to have the opportunities, to have the happiness, to have the lifestyles that will really bring them their fulfillment. So, first of all, we need to recognize that we're not getting it most of the time, and understand that the whole of nature and the whole of creation is a system not just of substance, but an energetic system whereby life energies come to us which supply every need we've got. Everything that we need comes to us somewhere through an essence, through something like a color energy, like a butterfly essence, or a sea or a flower essence, or perhaps dolphin and whale essences. So many different types of energies, and certain people like myself have been activated by spirit to bring these essences to everybody that needs them, and in this way to give the opportunity that we can use natural energies to aid our well-being, and especially to help us to find the right direction in our lives. Because I teach all over the world, and people from every culture and country say to me, but what can I use to help me to find myself, to find who I am? Now, I've just been talking to somebody just a moment ago about an essence called Leafy Sea Dragon, a sea essence to help you to find your individuality, who you are, what makes you tick. There are butterfly essences, which are color energies to really help us to find our true life path. One of them is violet, Group 3 butterfly, which is an essence that really connects us consciously to our soul plan and our soul energy. And there are a whole host of other natural energies of flowers, of dolphins, of whales, of gems, and many other natural energies in the form of essences that we can use that will help us to become very clear inside what our path is and where our energies are best directed. So if you're in the situation of my son Jack, who's 19 at the moment, who's trying to find his way in his life, trying to find what he can do to both earn money and be fulfilled, if you're in that kind of a situation, using the essences can really, really help, because society doesn't support us to find the right things to do, but the essences certainly can. And to find the right essences, quite often you can use a tool like this. This is called a pendulum. And by holding these over the various boxes of essences, the pendulum will move over the essences that we need by simply asking the questions. Now, there are many other forms of dowsing or determining essences, but for me, I've used this for 35, 40 years now of using essences, and it works absolutely brilliantly. And it works because we have somebody called a spiritual guide who knows exactly what's best for us and who can use this movement of this to indicate to us what essences are the best for us. So we can ask a question and then we can get the answer and it can be shown to us.
Yeah. And of course, I don't really need to say this, but I think it's important to say, if you're watching this and you're not a teenager, maybe you're our age or whatever age you are.
Even as old as me.
Life purpose can be, we can align with that at whatever age. And
And many people don't find their true spiritual path until much later in life, and even their true physical path. But the thing is that at whatever age or stage you are in your life, the essences have a great power to help you and to bring you to a real state of well-being and happiness. You can't be happy until you're in harmony. And you can't be in harmony if you're being battered by a whole series of bad energies. Now, the essences give you the power to overcome any attacks or bad energies coming towards you and to purify and strengthen you so that you can move forwards into your life in a very positive and fulfilling way.
You know, one of my favourite essences, which is a great one as well, I find really easy to get as well, is the Bach Serato or the Bach Serato.
Yeah.
It's just a lovely, lovely essence for finding for finding your life purpose as well.
Absolutely.
There's many, many essences. In the British Flower and Vibrational Essence Association, we work with multiple ranges of essences. And really, we're all about educating and helping people find out more about them.
Yeah, and the point is that the best teacher and the best healer is yourself. You're the one that really knows yourself. And the beauty of the essences is it's a form of well-being and learning that we can administer ourselves with the help of friends. You don't need to pay some expensive expert to help you. You can find it yourself. And because they're so safe to use, anybody can use them in whatever situation. So I would really recommend that you look us up at the BFVEA, and we have a whole series of support services that can help everybody, whatever their need is, whatever their
whether you're in Europe or in other countries as well. We're very keen to raise the awareness of essences worldwide. Yeah.
And I teach a lot in the Far East and Australia as well as many other countries. And I can tell you that the use of essences and the need for essences is worldwide. It's completely global. And people all over the world have glowing stories of what wonderful things essences do for them. And I feel, and Sarah feels, very privileged that we are two people who've been activated to be able to bring these very helpful essences to people. But here at the BFEA, we have a whole conference full of people who are all doing the same thing. So there's a lot of people out there who are really providing this wonderful service of bringing essences and other products such as elixirs to us.
Yeah. So thank you, Erik. Thank you for sharing your passion with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for listening. Okay.
Okay,
Bye
bye.
bye.